ULTI.TV.
So we're here in the Open Men's quarter-final. We've got Great Britain playing against Australia. Australia having a close loss against USA, find themselves in this match, and Boo Boo, the coach, is still in the field for the Dingoes. A good ball to start. So this breeze, it's more of a storm wind almost. The disc floats up in the air. Ooh, ugly coming together there. Andrew Jackson goes down. Looks like it will, well, I've got no idea where the disc will be. It might stick with GB. It looked like the receiver had made the catch before he came together with Andrew Jackson. As I was saying, this breeze very, very strong. It's actually more of an upwind, downwind scenario, so we could see a lot of goals scored in the right-hand side end zone. 14 with the disc for Great Britain. 99 goes up the line. Dingoes get scored on, upwind. The Great Britain coming out firing. Ken Shepherd bringing it up for Australia. Australia working out of a horizontal. Jono Holmes finds the disc for the Dingoes. Seb Barr has it on this near sideline. And there's a foul on the call, on the throw. A nice D there by 64, undercutting the receiver, Gus Keenan. So the call is uncontested. Barr goes up the line to Gardner. Nice bid there. And a low huck that falls to the ground. Great Britain get the disc on this near sideline, and you'd have to say the entire field is in range from here. They got the downwind end zone to aim at. 64 for Great Britain going to pick up the disc. Goes to the line. It's pretty much in line with the brick mark. He goes inside. This pops up in the air. Ken Shepherd unable to turn around quick enough. 60 calls a foul. So disc comes back in after the foul call. Oh, and that one bounces off the receiver's chest. It's going to happen in this wind. Gardner has the disc for the Dingoes. Trying to find something. Gus Keenan is unmarked at the moment. Jono Holmes unable to get it to him. Lavis goes for the dump up the line, gets it. He shouts some instructions to the receivers. Gardner skins his defender up the line. And Shepherd goes up the line, Gardner up the line. Barr gets the reset on the swing pass, and then he attempts the forehand. It blades horribly, but Jono Holmes, great old receiver that he is, covers that one well. Barr with the disc, having a bit of a fake and a look. Not really much from the Dingoes here in the red zone. Now they're past the brick mark. Gus Keenan on the open side just overcooks it to Tex, unable to punch in that quick score. So this wind is getting incredibly strong here. Tim Lavis bringing the disc in for the Dingoes. Lavis goes up the line to Barr. Then a lot of up the line cuts by the Dingoes. Gets a reset in the middle to Lavis. Lavis throws a bit of a floaty one. It goes up in the air. Barr unable to get it. Number 9 with a nice D for GB. Number 9 looks off the dump. A bit of clogging here by the Englishman. And then an inside-out throw to the end zone for a great strike, and GB go up a break. 2-0. So Great Britain up a break early. We see that the disc barely making halfway. It gives you some indication of the strength of this wind. Lavis, middle of the field, free arms. Goes for the inside to Tatum. 60, max it. Gets it out there to Dow. Dow with the disc right on the end zone. Pop pass to a streaming Blakely for this goal. Tex pulling down Australia's first point of the match, one they needed. Now they get to play a bit of downwind D. So Australia working out their D-line. Boo Boo getting off the field. At least he makes it off the field this time before the pull. Joel Pillar with the pull. Pillar putting it up. Again, barely makes halfway. This one goes out of bounds after the wind takes it and carries it sideways. So the disc comes in quick for GB, electing to take it from the sideline. 40 takes a shot to the end zone. Woodley with a bid, and GB score quickly. Wow, Great Britain have come out firing this match. They've connected on two ugly looking deep shots that turned out to be perfectly well weighted options. So, two downwind points in a row. This one, good pull, reaching the brick mark. The brick mark's probably going to be as good as the end zone line in this match. Bar to Lavis. Lavis with a bit of a push part there to Bar. The old Seabass with the disc. Holmes goes through the wall to Bar. He gets it under control and then goes through the wall, piercing it well. Ken Shepherd. Kenny throwing to Lavis. Timbo into the end zone. The Dingoes have settled down now in this game, and they punch in their second score of the match. So Joel Pillar, one word, pulling for the Dingoes. Asked for some space there from Mark Taylor, Tubby, as he's called. Pillar putting up a good pull. This one will probably reach the brick mark as well. As I said, well, it goes past the brick mark, so a really good pull there. A bit of a zone here being thrown by the Australians. No call on the play there. Great toughness there by the GB player number 15. Electing just to play on rather than try and call something. Oh, it goes up in the air. Woodley in the area. The catch is made though. A very nice catch too, under pressure there by number 8. 8 moves it. GB with the disc. They've still got it. Any kind of overhead throw is going to be really interesting in this wind. A right-handed hammer will get pushed a long way over from that sideline, that far sideline. So 28 to 45. GB working away smoothly here, so stringing together a fair few passes. It's good skills. A nice throw there, and it max up in the air. 40's read it well though. I thought he misread it. I thought that thing was going to pop up in the air, but he knows more about it than I do. And GB overcooked that outside in. As I said, any kind of overhead or lofty throw is going to be really interesting. Andrew Jackson goes to the end zone, gets looked off. So spot here with the disc, goes back to Owen Shepherd. A great bid there by the defender, number 8. AJ fakes the backhand huck, goes back to O'Shep. O'Shep to Tubby. Tubby into the middle to Woodley, to O'Shep. AJ gets shut down on the cut. One of the Dowls comes under, gets shut down. Pillar to AJ. AJ goes for the huck downfield. Dow. It goes down though. The wind pushing that one into the ground. Dow was open there. He had quite a few steps, but the wind had other ideas about that pass, pushing it into the ground. So a great throw through the middle of the zone there. Player getting down well. This one going deep. It's going very, very deep. Schumacher has got it covered. And what a score for GB. The Dingoes had their shot, but couldn't pull it in. GB turn around and go the length of the field in exactly 2 passes. That second one doing about 70 metres. 70? No, I'd probably say about 60 metres. On the full to hit the receiver right in the chest. Some great passing from GB. Grey Breton out on defence. This Paul getting pushed sideways and hits Ruben Berg in the head. He hits the ground like he's been sniped, and that's a pretty good hit. We might have to highlight that one. So Pete Gardner bringing it in for Australia. Floaty pass goes over the Tex, and a great grab there by Jono Holmes, somehow keeping himself in. I thought that was gone for all money, but the wily veteran, Tim Lavis, looked like he either wrong-footed or knocked over one of the GB boys. So Tim Lavis goes again, this time gets covered well. Pop pass, Pete Gardner bringing it back. Tatum going up the line. Tex, fastest man in Australian Ultimate, or was a couple of years back. He didn't run this year, so we're not sure if he's faster than Yannick Savage. But he's still lightning quick, and you see him just burning his receiver in about 2 steps to the end zone. So the pull going up, a good pull going past the brick mark. Another zone by the Dingoes. They clearly think they've got something with the zone. Pillar comes around, steps over the mark, and I don't think you'll be too upset about that call. He was all over the GB player, and it is uncontested. Good spirit there by Pillar. So GB get the disc on 0. So movement to the sideline. And a great point block there by Andrew Jackson by the looks of it. Joel Pillar makes some sideways movements and gets the disc to Woodley. The big-shouldered Woodley dumps to the equally big-shouldered Pillar. Joel Pillar goes up the line to Dow, and it looks like a pick on the field. So Pillar keeping the disc for this Dingoes D team. If the Dingoes are able to get a score here, but a great grab by Spotty. Bit of a talk there, Matt, who was kind enough to join us in the commentary box, just saying that he grabbed it at the same time, if not a little bit after. There is a foul call by the UK import, Keith Hodgson. So disc comes back in. Keith Hodgson with the disc. Matt hits the ground. Woodley, no, it's Mark Taylor on the contest. Woodley telling one of the GB boys to cool it and let the people in the play sort it out. A good move, because there's some big boys down there. They're all grown men and very good at ultimate, so they'll know what happened. And they'll make the call accordingly. There was definitely contact there, whether it affected the catch or not. Obviously, GB and Australia don't agree, so it goes back, and that's cool. Australia in the it's kind of the intermediate zone between halfway and the brick mark, the orange zone, Lou Burris called it, and they cough it up again in that intermediate zone. Matt gets the disc for GB and then puts up a huck. Andrew Jackson reads it well, gets the angle and gets the block. There is a foul call by Matt on Hodgson. So the disc coming back in on 0, call being uncontested. Hodgson saying that he got him in the active throwing. Bit of violation there by Joel Pillar, but he goes back quickly before the disc is capped in. Matt with the disc, throws up the line, a nice bid there by Pillar, and it goes deep to a streaming GB receiver, and once again, Australia have their shot, but GB hold firm. They get the disc back and then punch it in on a great, it was an ugly looking deep shot that's actually a perfect option. GB. The pull going up, reaching the brick mark. The boys starting to get a handle on this this breeze with regards to the pull. However, no one's really scored upwind apart from the GBD team. Nice bid there by Dowell, and he looks to be a little bit hurt. Hopefully he's okay. So Dowell going off with a shoulder injury. The Australian physio's checking him out. Hopefully he's okay. Dowell has been a integral part of this Australian Dingoes team for a very, very long time, and of course his brother has been too. So now a very firm throw, and it floats. Seb Barr climbs up there for the block. So the Australians get the disc back, and a great D there by number 40, undercutting Tex of all people to get that block. They get the around, and then the swing, 32 catches it, and they continue onto this sideline. Fakes the backhand, and then gets it up the line. The huck goes up now to a wide open receiver. Oh, he misreads it, but number 64 got it and then dropped it. Big time play. Gus Keenan goes to Barr. Lavis goes deep, throws it to Holmes. Jono Holmes throws back to Seabass. Seth Barr hitting a very massive pass there for huge meters to Kenny Shepherd. Then goes outside in. Perfect throw to Tim Lavis. The Australian O team getting lucky there. They almost gave up another break. Somehow number 64 dropped it though. And Australia managed to punch in their O score. First time Dingo. Instantly finds himself pulling. And, pulling for the Dingoes. It's a regular thing. That one hitting the brick mark. The Dingoes going for zone downwind again. And the GB boys finding a way through with that interesting looking scuba, but it breaks the wall well. They get the dump and then the swing, so they're around the wall. The wall adjusts though. Nice movement through the cup there. They get the reset off, but they're steadily being trapped on this line. Sooner or later, one of them is going to have to throw something off the line, and there's a great throw into the middle. Sweet as with a bid, GB with a score. Great zone offense there in testing conditions. So this game has been all about scoring downwind after GB broke the Dingoes early to go out to that 2-0 lead. So far, the game has just continued on serve this pool, going to the halfway, which is about average in this wind. Holmes gets free underneath. Holmes with the disc, has a look around, Pete Gardner goes sideways out of the stack. Tim Lavis sends his defender the wrong way. Seb Barr getting the disc. He's getting a lot of touches in this match. Ken Shepherd lays an egg, goes through his hands. GB with a shot at O upwind. If they can convert this, they're a long way in front. And looks like a call or a timeout maybe. Discussion was about a contact call and then a timeout immediately after it. GB player, very intelligent play there to get the stall back to 0. The huck goes up, great layout to catch that one, and then the throw up the line, and it floats up in the air horribly. Several receivers back there. GB go upwind again. They break the Australians again and take a really strong position in this quarterfinal match. The Australians might want to think about a timeout here. So GB really hitting their stride in this game. And that's a wonderful looking pull. And it's gone a long way out too. So Dingo's having to go upwind on O here. And they're in a really tough spot. They need to convert this point, as if they don't, they'll be in major strife. Pete Gardner throwing a backhand that curves around to Tim Lavis nicely after all. We saw it flutter it pretty hard in that wind. Gardner with a disc, having a look around, throws a short one to Pillar. Joel Pillar, all one word. Pillar going to Barr, and then dumps it off quickly to Lavis. In the middle to Joel Pillar. Pillar creating space for himself with a pivot. Tats gets through the wall. Tats playing on only one leg, but he kind of hasn't had knees or ankles for years now. It's just another tournament for Tatum from Newcastle. Barr goes through the wall with a nice throw to Glover. Glover gets down low and GB transition. Gardner into the end zone for Pillar, and they punch in that score and they find themselves with a hope here. Now, if they can get the turn on the downwind and punch a score back in, they'll be only one break down, which is better than being 2 or 3 breaks down. So Australia find themselves on a downwind or an upwind D point. Pillar with a pull. Big outside in. Vicious angle. This is going to come down quick. GB let it land and it goes out the back of the full. Owen Shepherd yelling to the D team saying, on your toes and dictate. They want to play proactive D here. Instantly there's a deep cut. Schumacher getting free on the under. A nice clear from the horizontal stack. And good defense across the field here by the Australians. Disc pops up under heavy pressure and Dow finds himself with a block. Great defense there by Shepherd pressuring the receiver. Shepherd gets the dump from Evans. McDonald to Pillar. Joel Pillar playing a lot of points here. Andrew Jackson getting the disc for the Dingoes. Jackson looks, throws to the Ice Dragon who manages to get it. He throws inside to Pillar. Pillar goes for the around to Dow, and the Australians, they claw one back to only be down 1 point, heading towards the end of the first half. So this ball rolling and almost reaching the brick mark. This wind still very, very strong, blowing pretty much left to right. It's a little bit of a cross breeze, and now we see the Australians in a zone. It's quite a good wall. Any of those players in the wall would could be a wing or a deep in any other zone, but they find themselves playing as a wall. They've all got big reach, a great throw through the middle there. Good flow down the sideline. Schumacher with the disc, fakes the offhand throw and then goes for the normal righty backhand. 28 looks for the dump. It gets shut down by the mark there, Gus Keenan. 15 with the disc, goes with the offhand again. Looks like the GB boys are starting to stick with the backhand a bit here, electing to throw a lefty backhand instead of a right-handed forehand. So good movement around the cup here by the Great Britain players. A bid by Lavis, 28 with the disc right on the end zone line. GB jump it in, going up 8-6, and the Australians still behind in this game. After giving up that early break, they just haven't been able to claw it back thus far. So we're going to see one of these four teams in the finals, the four teams that are playing here right now. We just don't know who it is. It could be one of Japan, Sweden, Great Britain or Australia facing off in the final. A pool there right now, Great Britain giving Australia all they can handle and then some. Really playing a great game here. Lavis picking up the disc for the Australians. Barr goes up the line. Shepherd comes for the reset. A great layout D. Kenny Shepherd gets it though. That's sat up for an age and then some. It just sat there floating in the air. Kenny Shepherd having the presence of mind to get there, and Tim Lavis with a cold drop. Just bouncing off the palm of his right hand and hitting the turf. Jono Holmes fitting that one in there between the two GB defenders. So Great Britain with a chance to go upwind. Schumacher getting under Seb Barr. Schumacher going up the line. It floats horribly. And Great Britain bring it down. They're earning their luck right now. They're working hard and just ending up with a disc somehow. An incredible game. Deep fake there by number 4. This disc floats as well, but it's well covered by the GB receiver. And Ken Shepherd, big heads-up play there by the experienced Australia. Seb Barr going deep, down the field to Glover, who brings it in and goes to his knees. Ken Shepherd works into a good spot. Oh, and Glover throws a horrible backhand. Jono Holmes on this near sideline. Tatum hits the corner. The Australians getting close. Tim Lavis, Barr on the inside. Barr out into space, Glover. And there looks to be a call in the field. No call in the field, the disc going down, the Dingoes coughing it up. So Great Britain just discussing whether they had a timeout or not. Turns out they have one left, according to our little scoreboard, which looks very nice. Great Britain in a bit of a coffin corner here. Jono Holmes getting up in the air. That bounces, rolls, goes out on this near sideline. Shepherd goes and picks it up immediately. Tex gets shut. Oh, Tim Lavis gets shut down in the near corner. Shepherd, Barr, Tatum. Tats with a disc. Goes with a low release to his I-beam teammate Lavis. The Newcastle captain Lavis goes inside, back to Tatum, and Barr catches the score for the Australians. They're still punching in their points, but they've been unable to get back that break. If everything continues as it has since the score of 2-0, Great Britain are going to score the next point and take half 9-7. We see Chris Cunliffe on the line for, it must be the first time in this match. Cunliffe, great defender from Queensland. Plays nationals for, or clubs for the Queensland team Firestorm. Owen Shepherd still on the field. Wonder about the legality of that. This is the second time there's been an Australia coach or player on the field as the pool is being pulled. Pillar on the mark, he's been seeing a lot of game time. 40 with the throw. It goes low, and there is a call on the play. So Pillar taps the disc back in after the foul call. 40 with the disc. He's looking for the deep shot. He gets it. Nice hops there by Matt. Matt fakes the hammer. Woodley doesn't buy it. And a great bid there by Mark Evans getting on the top of one of the GB boys. No call. This has been a really great free-flowing match. A great Ashes rematch. And Evans goes with the backhand. It comes out of bounds. So foul call there by Mark Evans. I believe they're calling him the Ice Dragon these days. We see Dow walking along the sideline with ice on his shoulder. He must have a bit of a bump after that one. Woodley with a nice catch. Right on the end zone line for the Dingoes. This could be their time to score. They don't have a timeout left. They've called two. Mark Evans going inside, and the Dingoes leveled it up at 8-all. That is the break they needed, and now they have a chance to take halftime after being behind for the entirety of the first half. At the very last possible moment, they level it up with the upwind break. So the pull there, it's very, very low. The wind catches it though, it rolls and hits one of the GB boys. He manages to get it before it goes out the back. And the Australians with a bit of momentum behind them now for the first time in the match. GB gets some meters. Free receiver underneath. Jono Holmes lagging behind. The low release up the line, more meters for the GB boys. And the huck goes up. Spotty reads it well. They get the turn, and then Owen Shepherd coughs it up immediately, bouncing off his chest and hitting the dirt. GB go for a slow turn. Wise move there. Just slow things down a little bit. Take an extra breath. Dry the hands. If GB can pull this point out, they'll maintain their break. A high release to the end zone. A nice bid. A great bid by Mark Evans. He's been playing for years, and I reckon I've seen him lay out twice. And they've both been in this game. Oh, Macca misreads it. It just holds away from him. Unable to close the gap, and this disc goes down. The disc back. Owen Shepherd on the mark. Great movement there by the GB handler. Good defense here by the Australians. It goes up the line in between Spotty and the receiver. It falls to the ground though. And Mark Evans yelling something. And I'm not sure if Tim Lavis heard him. Great bid there by number 15, Mark Taylor. Tubby getting the disc. Tim Lavis goes to Macca. Macca will look to dump. He does. Lavis with the disc. Lavis goes for meters. Great catch there. And it looked like it just bounced off his chest. Boys being struggling to rein in this disc right now. After what has been a fairly clinical first half, we see more turns in this point. There's pretty well been up to this point. So the round goes up, and oh, another drop, this time by Great Britain. Mark Evans going for the disc for Australia, the first time Dingo. Great story of Mark. He got dropped from the under-19 team years ago, but now finds himself on the Dingo team before any of his teammates can. And the Dingoes take half. What a turn of events here. The Dingoes go downwind for the ninth point. And Australia, wow. They're back in this match well and truly. They've got their heads back in front with the halftime break now. Not ideal. And Kenny puts a really high floating piece of pie up. Great position by number 44 there. Just boxing out pretty much half the Dingoes team and half his own team. Great catch too. So Great Britain get a turn. They're right on the end zone line. Cut up the line. Goes around. Great catch for the score. Great Britain punch in the first score of the half to level it up at 9-all. So Great Britain with some upwind, or downwind, sorry, D. 13 goes immediately, and the throw goes up from Gardner. This one floats and slides and is generally pretty ugly in this wind. 33 from Great Britain. Great Britain get the turn, but they've got to go all the way upwind here to get this break. Holmes struggling for traction. And some good defense there, but they get the inside break. 64 with a great pass to 44. And the huck goes up. It's a very big throw. It's floating. Tatum coming. It bounces. Number 3 catches it for GB. They get the break. They've gotten a break. Wow, this has been an awesome game so far, and it's not over yet. The Aussies give up another break to this charging Great Britain team. They've come out of half with a full head of steam. I don't know what they had. Maybe some soy sauce flavored chips or something. Great Britain with another quick start. They did the exact same thing at the start of the game, getting 2 breaks, 2 points in a row. Oh, and the Dingoes let this one go. The other one was coming at Tim Lavis's head. He wisely decides not to try to catch it. A drop pull here would be disastrous. So the Dingoes starting slow again. They gave up 2 points to start the game. They've given up 2 points to start the second half. Pillar goes down. He seems to be okay. No, the disc went to the ground. And a call on the field. So GB right on the end zone line. They could score another break here. He's getting hassled by Joel Pillar. And Joel says 0. Spirit's been really good this game. They've elected just to play ultimate and not really talk about things overly much. Pop past the end zone. GB go up another break. Wow. Oh, wow. In the far field, we can see Sweden giving Japan all they can handle and then some. Japan being down 16-13. And now the Aussies, highly favoured in this match, find themselves down a couple of breaks and on the short end of the stick as the clock ticks over 74 minutes. So fun and games here at the quarterfinals for the Open Division at World Ultimate Guts 2012. Owen Shepherd finds himself on the O-line. Max Wheeler in there as well. It's his first one and he puts up a huck. It floats and goes straight to number 64 for GB. Great Britain get the disc. And the disc goes down. I couldn't see what happened. A hand block, says one of the staff by Joel Pillar. Pillar goes down to pick that one up. Joel having a lot of game time right now. Owen Shepherd looking to run the O. Joel Pillar and the Dingoes in the red zone now. Getting close, pop pass to Mark Evans. Evans fakes and then goes, and a great block. GB having a great game right now. Yeah, gee whiz, the Dingoes are in trouble. This one floats in the air. It goes down. The GB boys have been pulling in a lot of that. There, it looks to be a call on the field. So the disc going back on the contested call. A nice throw there to 17. And the cut goes deep. It's flying. Number 6 tracks it down. 33 runs past. Joel Pillar switches onto him. Smart switch there. Taking the player because, of course, the man with the disc can't score. And a timeout call by GB. Good call there. They're close to the end zone. This is exactly the place they want to call a timeout to give themselves a chance to set up their offense and have a good look at another upwind score. So GB in the red zone, just the other side of the brick mark. And they've come out in horizontal of all things, which is interesting because normally the spacing across the field isn't very good at working to the corner. And a call on Max Wheeler there by number 4 from Great Britain. We see the disc get tapped in. 4 knocks off Max Wheeler's hat, looking for the dump, gets it. Great balance and strength there by number 4, working through that very physical mark. But then 13, that disc just dropped about half an arm, and you see it hit him almost in the elbows. Wow, the wind. Max Wheeler with the disc, good mark there by number 4. Giving as good as he got with regards to a good mark, and Mark Evans goes with a forehand to Woodley. Woodley reading the disc, scores for Australia. So 10-11, and the game continues. It's fun. Let's just say that. Great game here right now. So Joel Pillar about to pull. The cones from the field have just blown away. We see Sweden winning on the far field against Japan. That's got to be the upset of the tournament right now. Sweden find themselves in a semi. And one of these two teams is going to find themselves in a semi in just a few minutes. Number 40 getting stuck with the disc, finds an open receiver, but then it bounces off his chest. Catching been very hard in this wind. See Max Wheeler with the disc. Joel Pillar goes with a big huck to Dow. It drops out of the air though. That wind just stopping the throw in mid-air and then dropping it. Schumacher, Schumacher, Schumacher! What a grab! So the rolling pull goes out of bounds, gets stopped by the Australian Guts team vice captain, Matt Hill. Great gut skills there. The Australian Guts teams have found themselves in a pre-semi, one of the best 3 teams in the world. And right now Australia, they need to really pull out some work to make sure they get a semi-final berth. This one going in the end zone, great D there. 2 hands making sure of it, electing not to catch. Clearly he doesn't want to throw, because tapping it in from that corner, very, very tough. So the disc comes in, throw goes down, and the disc rolls before being stopped by one of the GB defenders. John Holmes taking up a pivot and then stepping forward to create himself some space. Bar with a bit of a sideways cut, getting away from his receiver. Inside throw. Whoa! Said Bar to Tex. Man, that was quick. You see him spot the gap and then thread that thing without a moment's thought, blazing away and scoring another point for Australia. Oh boy, this one is going down to the wire. Australia have managed to stay in touch the entire time. However, they're still down a break. They need to find an upwind score here, an upwind D score. Pillar pulling this one. It looks like it'll slide sideways out of bounds. It does, and the brick is called. Sorry, I'm just getting sucked into the Team Canada cheer. Nice bid by Cunliffe. This one goes out of bounds without anyone touching it though. So the disc in by Owen Shepherd. Bit of a line zone here. It's just players everywhere from GB. Owen Shepherd manages to find Woodley to get it out. But now GB in more traditional man set. Joel Pillar takes that one on the chest to catch it. Taylor setting the stack. Oh, and Pillar misconnects, or misses connecting with Paul Denyer on that throw. GB get a turn, and they're in the red zone, so a good look at the end zone here. So 40 going to the end zone. Around the corner to Schumacher. Just goes down, the wind pushing that in the ground. So Owen Shepherd with a hammer. Oh, it turns over and ends up in the lap of number 16 from Great Britain. The wind really been a big part in this match. Schumacher finds the disc. Schumacher to up the line. 28. Very physical mark by Woodley. 28 with the disc, goes for the around. Goes inside out to the far side of the field. They're lining up for the score. Great Britain score. They catch that disc. 13-11, and the Australians still down. They've been unable to convert anything upwind apart from that one at the end of the last half. So the Australians down in this match. Great Britain have been on top for the large majority of this match. It was only going into half that the Australians got their nose in front before immediately giving that lead back up. Cunliffe with a nice stop there, sticking that big boot out. And number 40 moves that disc to 3 meters away exactly. Lavish goes with a big forehand. Glover bids and tries to keep it in, but lands awkwardly on his knee. So Great Britain upwind. If they can score here, they'll put themselves in a really good position. They're already well placed. The huck goes up. Holmes underneath it. 44 reads it the best though. Oh, and he's thrown a floater, but it comes back down. This wind is purely unpredictable. I'm having real trouble reading the sideline, reading the disc, and I'm on the sideline. Great Britain in the red zone. The around, the continuation, the score. Great Britain take a commanding lead heading into the end of the second half. Up 14-11. The Dingoes are in big trouble. Big trouble. Great Britain playing amazing ultimate right now. It's been a wonderful game, full of, well, it hasn't been what you would call highlight ultimate, but it's certainly been affected by the GB boys. This wind has really taken a lot of the spectacular stuff out of the game. The hucks, the bids, but there's been plenty of high grabs. This one low, bid by Tex. It goes short. Australian really need to score this upwinder. They've given it up though, and if GB score here, they're going to be a mile in front, and Dingoes will have a lot of work to do. So the disc is going to come back on the foul call. So it turns out there was, well, Jonathan Tatum. I had to think to remember what his first name was there. Everyone just knows him as Tats. Saying there was contact on the throw. And the Dingoes still have the disc and a shot at the up window. Lavis goes up line, gets shut down. Great defense. A great catch though by Seb Barr getting horizontal. Lavis is getting shut down right now. Gardner with a great pro backhand. Tex elects not to go the continuation, comes back inside to Lavis, who finally gets free. Lavis with a great work rate. Eventually it's going to happen. Gardner goes inside. Joel Pillar puts the disc down. It was called down, and Joel instantly agrees. Great spirit, and it has been all game thus far. And the huck goes up immediately. Tim Lavis underneath that disc. 44 running away from him. Number 80 streams in the end zone. 19 with the disc. Goes the dump. Tex pops up from nowhere and macks that disc a mile in the air. An interesting turn of events there. The foul called by number 37. I'm just going to tell it like it is. 37 called the foul on Seb Barr. Number 44, his own player, agreed with Tex and said, you know, that foul didn't affect our play. And we see Great Britain trying to jam it in this sideline. And somehow that disc pops up out of bounds. I couldn't see what happened. Too many people in front. Tim Lavis picking it up. Tats gets a mile free. Holmes goes for the end zone. This one low, flat, hard. Holmes running! Bids! Someone! Oh my good Lord! Oh my good Lord, and someone's actually calling that down. The crowd love it. The crowd are saying it's up, and GB are down there to talk about it. That is a massive bid, and the goal stands. Jono Holmes. Ages ago, I said one of the most beastly men on this Australian team, one of the most beastly men ever to step out of Australia, and oh my good Lord, someone roll the replay. Australia with the upwind score. There's only been a handful in this match. Evans with a pull. Both teams doing a remarkably good job of resisting the temptation to become chippy in the latter half in this match. Some great spirit out there. Number 44 from Great Britain being one of the most spirited players I've seen in years. He's really, really calm, talking things through, being an incredibly reasonable man in the heat of a very intense game. So a shout out to number 44 from Great Britain. And one other thing, he's been playing an awesome game. Tubby holds his space. 5 gets it underneath. There's a bit of a discussion with Mark Taylor by the looks of it. So it just goes back. So GB are going to keep the disc here. And the disc is coming in on 0. So it must have been an uncontested foul of all things. The huck goes up, it's very flat. Matt tracking it down, it drops at his feet. The wind's playing havoc still with the disc. Dow catches it, fakes the backhand a couple of times, and heavy contact there by number 99, Schumacher, on Andrew Jackson. Boys say sorry, bit of a clumsy bid there. So Jackson will keep the disc. The boys starting to fly around in the field. It's good to see. Jackson goes for the around. Lavis gets it. Great throw in the wind by Jackson. Oh, massive hoss by Max Wheeler. That was a huge grab. The inside to Mark Evans, and Woodley drops it. And an injury called by one of the GB players. He limps off the field. Looks like he turned his ankle in the last seconds there. Or was playing on it until he got an opportunity to call the injury. It's not a time to be getting an injury. Both teams are going to need their players heading into the semi-final. Schumacher somehow gets free of Andrew Jackson. Schumacher being a very quick cutter for GB. Great catch there under pressure. A couple of Australians crowding the disc. Has a look, throws the huck, it goes up deep. Number 40 in the vicinity, he bids. He catches. What a great play by number 40 from Great Britain. Spotty runs off. There's a call. There's a call downfield after the great play. They're going to discuss this one. So it's contested stall. Number 28 made that great backhand throw. I thought it was a plan. And the count takes a long time to get to 10 there. Matt on the far sideline for Great Britain. Bit of continuation to the sideline. A few body fakes. Oh, and what a hand block. Oh, there is a call on the play. So the foul on the throw, it goes up to number 40, who's been having a great game for GB. Brilliant throwing match. Another good throw to 15. GB are working the disc downfield. A nice bid there. A nice bid, and it looks like they're going to talk about this one a little bit. So an uncontested foul. The receiver will keep the disc after a fairly call-light game. A great poach block by Andrew Jackson. After a call-light game, we've seen a flurry of calls in the last couple of minutes. Evans goes with the outside in to Andrew Jackson, who's misread it. It gets the read and then bids. But the disc falls down to the ground. The turnover results, and GB get it back on their own end zone line with all the field to run. So Great Britain in the horizontal. Schumacher makes the move, doesn't get free. Nice bid by Mark Taylor. The huck goes up really deep. Tim Lavis trying to find it. Matt's back there. He's read it well. Oh, it drops and bounces off number 8's hands. It is really unpredictable in this wind. It's just bouncing and sliding. Tim Lavis wails away with the backhand, going to Dow. But the breeze picks it up and it flies into the fence at about a 2-person's height. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but we'll go with it. The number 40, number 40 has been a rock for GB. He calls the timeout. It's their second timeout of the half, and they're going to go in, have a bit of a chat about it. Had a big gust of breeze there. We almost lost the pole cam. Mike somehow managed to catch it. And speaking of catching it, GB, they've caught a few breaks in this game, and they've caught some lucky stuff because they've worked hard. 40 goes up the line. Nice bid by Spotty. Gets the block. What a play by the short-statured number 17 from Melbourne from Horst. He spikes it. It goes a mile. And the Dingoes slot in the score for 13-14, and it's now game to 16 in this quarterfinal match. So, fun and games here on Field S22. World Ultimate and Guts Championships 2012, Sakai, Japan. And Schumacher getting free so effortlessly. Seems to be one of the quickest guys from this GB team, and there's only a few people from the Australian team that can match up. Jonah Holmes calls him in quick, goes for the break, or the dump rather. The around, Max Wheeler tries to throw a foot out. Schumacher goes with the offhand, and the disc goes down. The Dingoes get a shot up the line to Mark Evans. Evans holsters the huck, goes inside to Dow, gets the disc back. Evans running the offense right now. Throws an outside in to Wheeler. Oh, and the disc goes down. Evans, so close on that throw. So close on hitting and picking out Max Wheeler. Very tough throw though. That was going directly into the wind. It's coming from that corner. Goes with the bladey outside in forehand, and it just goes too far. So GB downwind, Schumacher hits the end zone, and players going long left, right and centre. The Great Britain receivers obviously trying to get a huck off here, and it floats up. Schumacher using the wind to great advantage. Holmes, oh, what a catch. What an amazing throw by Schumacher. Uses the wind. Holmes tries to undercut it, ends up misreading it. The wind picks it up just that little bit extra. And the GB receiver does a great job to pick that one up. 15-13 to the boys in red. So the Dingo's been behind pretty much the entire match. This ball going up, lands on the line. Tim Lavis calls the brick. And Great Britain, I believe it's game to 16, so if they score this point somehow, they'll win and they'll find themselves in a semi. Tim Lavis with the disc, goes to Tex, who goes quick to Ken Shepherd and then moves, looking for that continuation pass. Shepherd to Lavis, pick called downfield, so it'll come back. If we can get a zoom in shot of Ken Shepherd, we can see a little bit of a bump in the back of his shirt. That's actually for a PhD research project that's going on, tracking the movement patterns of receivers, and apparently there's going to be a PhD project done on that, which is excellent. The around, nice catch, lots of pressure. Dingoes score. The game is not over yet, but they've got to go upwind. Well, they've got to get a turn first and then go upwind to level this game up and take it to Universe Point. GB, they've been really miserly on O so far. They haven't really given up much. All of their deep shots downwind have somehow connected. Pillar with a pull. See probably the best line or the best D line the Dingoes have got on right now, because it's crunch time. They can't give up this point. The huck, it's low. Attempted D. Great Britain. What a game. What a game. The Dingoes. There's so many of them scratching their heads. They're lost. They're speechless. They're lost for words. And Great Britain have pulled out a great win here. A lot of people would expect the Australians to win this and win it quite handily, but the Great Britain team have picked it up over the course of the tournament and have pulled out this quarterfinal win. to get into the semis against Sweden, of all people. The Australians, so close yet so far, will come outside the top 4 again this year. On behalf of ULTI.TV, my name's Dan Clenton. Thank you and goodbye.